at Brandi's Corner and Women in Soccer. Here we are in beautiful Frisco, Texas. We were just at the U.S. practice, and now we're out at Canada on Field 8. That's something to talk about in a little bit, but I digress. What I love about Bev Priestman is she's got a coach's rondo going on before practice. So, you know, like, she's down deep, she's a player at heart, she has the feel for the game. But yeah, we're going to have some fun today and share some insights into the She Believes Cup and the Canadian women's national team.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to the sunshine.
Hello, Coach. How are you? I'm good.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for having us here.
No worries.
Look at you. You got your fancy boots on and
There
everything.
We go. Yeah.
Sporty and classy. You've got your pearl earrings on and your soccer boots on. Keeping it real,
Always,
Bev.
always.
Keeping it real. I like it. I was speaking with Pia Sundhage this morning,
Yeah.
and she said something very interesting that I think all of us can fully understand, and the depth of how serious this equal pay is. She said, you know, I'm in for equal pay, but I would like equal treatment.
Yeah.
And I think that really honestly speaks to the core of what this is all about. It's not just, can I get the money? That's not it. It's like, can you just treat me in the way that you would treat anybody else? And I think that's very frustrating when you have to consistently have that battle. It's hard.
Yeah.
How are they feeling physically? It's a
They're
demanding,
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, very tired, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think 3 travel days, everything that's gone on, the US game would have took a lot out of us. So it's like trying to balance the flow and the partnerships with the fresh legs and the energy and seeing players before the World Cup. So, yeah. It's just like today's session isn't going to be intense. It's going to be more pictures, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But it makes your job. This is why they hired the genius.
The bounce back.
This is why.
The bounce back. Never lose 2 games in a row. That's the key.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We've never lost 2 games in a row, and I wasn't ready to make that happen. So.
Excellent. So what did you do between the first and the second match that
just got back to, like, you know, our sort of analogy is like climbing a mountain and getting up the next day and climbing. Some climbers turn back and they never go and conquer it. So we just talked about all we need to do is move forward and climb and take 1 step and then 2 steps, and because we played Brazil before, it was about growing in the area that we weren't great in, which was transition. So it was back to the process of and no excuse culture, right? Like we know it's been tough, but
what's in front of you is what it is. You
and to be fair, they gave everything. Like they
thought so.
They gave everything. So
it's all you can ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all you can ask.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so this next match, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I think well, Japan. You know what Japan are like, right? So you've got to defend well and be okay with not having the ball.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Because I've seen 2 very capable teams play Japan.
Yes.
And defending them is different.
Yeah, I think you can't go chasing. If you go chasing, you're in trouble, personally. Yeah. I think
can you give away any trade secrets of where you want to win the ball?
When's this going out? Before or after?
After.
Well, now after.
It's always
I think
after.
I know where I don't want them to have the ball, which is centrally.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have, because that's where they come alive when you let them play through you. So it's all about denying that, because that's where they'll overload, and prioritising nothing through. Basically, that's
both this way and that way.
Yeah, like you got to stop and switch in it too.
Yeah,
well, that's what we're very good at, right? You would have seen they like come out and join on the opposite side, and they've got overloads with the wing backs. So, it's good for us because we play Ireland, who play with the back 3. Played very differently to Japan, but shape-wise, it's a good test for us because we've got them in the World Cup.
Okay.
So there's some crossover there.
Ireland will be happy that you put Ireland and Japan in the
I
same
know,
sentence.
I know, absolutely. Yeah, I know. So no, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
See how we get on. So you're hanging around, right? Are you going to watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I have a sandwich and sit on the side?
Yeah, why not?
Come on. Here's a couple things my mom taught me. Find your yes. So everybody's going to be told no at some point in your life. You just have to be persistent, keep going after what you want, and good things can happen. Second is just walk into the room like you belong there. Because if you do that, then people will be like, hey, how you doing? And you just, now you fit in. So it's all good. You have to act like you belong, act as if. That was a famous US soccer thing we used to say. You didn't feel like it, but you got to act as if.
Hi, I'm Mari. I'm the media officer for Canada Soccer. So in our team we have a bunch of women, which is amazing. We have Mallory White here. She's our physical therapist, head of medical. We have, sitting on the cooler over there, we have Mariah. Mariah is our mental performance person. Then sitting next to her, we have Chloe Worley. She's our sports science person. Then we have, sitting on the table over there, we have Andy Barnabas. She's our the team manager. I think it's great to have women on the team, especially working with the women's team. We are able to connect on different ways, and just pave the way for other women to be a part of the soccer community.
I'm operations manager off camp, and then when we're on the camp, I'm the team manager for this group for the national team. Basically, I look after them from booking flights, hotels, training facilities, making sure they get in and out.
Otherwise known as being a mom. That's exactly what your job is.
Babysitter.
Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Andy said that. No, you take care of the things that they need.
Yeah, they're a great group of people. But
no, of course. There's always somebody who has to organize all the travel and all the details. So they don't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Basically just keeping the clutter away from the team. Yeah.
And how did you come to this position? What did you do before you were working with the team?
So I was with multi-sporting events. I've worked with Pan American Games, Olympics, that kind of stuff. And I've just wanted something, I wanted to stay in sport, but also wanted something that is important for me and meets my values and all of that. And it just happened that there was an opportunity opening up with Canada Soccer, and it seemed like it was the perfect fit at the time. But
how long have you been in your position?
4 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have history in football?
Played for fun. That's about it.
Where?
Not too, just in college. Growing up.
I love when people say,
just for fun.
Did you play just in college?
No,
not for a team.
No, not officially for a team. Oh my God, scrap that, please.
No.
Please.
Listen, ladies out there, you don't have to be on Team Canada or the U.S. national team to have value in your contribution to the game or where you're playing. Please don't ever say, I just played. No, I played. Yes, I did. I played soccer. Where did you grow up?
My main sport was rugby growing up.
Nice.
So it was a little bit more of a side hobby, and then it just carried out to be like 6-on-6 co-ed.
Okay.
But yeah,
nice.
A few tackles here and there, nothing special.
At least you know how to do a tackle. Yeah. Excellent. So
they would not let me in there, I'll tell you that
much.
What's
the next most important thing you're going to have to contribute to this team so that they can be successful?
Ooh, it's the World Cup, for sure. Our road to the World Cup. The pre-camp is going to be very critical for us. The preparation for that, the location is going to be key.
Do you already have that all mapped out?
Almost. We're just going to do a site visit in March, and then...
I don't know Canada's roadmap.
Right.
So what are the 3 group games? Where are they?
We're going to start off in Melbourne.
Okay.
Cold.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne. They don't say born. I learned that the hard way.
I lived in Australia too for a bit, so...
Okay. Yeah.
And then we go off to Perth, and then...
All the way across.
All the way across, and then we'll be back to Melbourne. I'm not going to pronounce
Melbourne.
this right.
Bun. Ask Tommy,
I'll cue
he'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll cue you for that word.
So you go Melbourne,
Perth,
Melbourne.
Correct.
Okay.
And then depending on where we finish our group, it'll either be Brisbane or Sydney.
Both great. So
Not
you
too
don't have to
shabby.
leave the continent.
No. Brisbane, potentially. Oh, but no, not the continent. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about provinces.
At first I was like,
I'm not good at
I was like,
geography section, because we're really bad at geography too. It might be an athlete.
Excellent.
We're gonna cut that out, yeah?
No. It's good fun. It's all good fun.
guys.
Nobody's listen. You guys are you have something special here, in my opinion. It's like, we know our business, but we're not going to be too uptight about it, and we're here
Just
to
go with the flow, you know?
yeah.
Have fun.
You have to. Soccer's a game that changes. It's never no two games are alike, and so even though you have a set piece and it looks similar to the another set piece you had, it's going to be different. So don't have any preconceived ideas about what things are. Just be in the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Mariah. So
Okay.
here we are in Frisco, Texas.
Yes.
How many years has it been since you played college soccer?
College soccer, 10 years.
Okay, so it's 10 years since I've seen you as my adversary, and
Since we beat you? Yeah.
I met a few times, but we've also beat you. Julie Foudy never beat me, ever. Santa Clara always beat Stanford when Julie Foudy played soccer. Let it be known. Let it be known. Yeah, we have a very healthy friendship, that's what I'll call it.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah.
post college, tell us what led you to this right now, this moment.
Yeah, so college ended, then drafted to Boston Breakers, played a season there, traded to Seattle Reign, played 2 seasons there. My senior year of undergrad, I took an intro to counseling class. I was a psych major.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, this like counseling thing sounds like it could be something
that was
post-soccer.
foreshadowing the pandemic,
No,
and look at you.
Things
ahead
work
of
out
the curve.
sometimes, yeah,
Yes, they do.
you know?
Yes, they
And so, anyway, knew that I wanted to go back to psychology, played a couple years. I knew the grad school process would be like 5 years, and I just timing-wise felt like it was the right time to hang the boots up and transition. And so, went to grad school,
Where?
BYU,
Okay.
Brigham Young University, got my PhD in clinical psych. And
How did you are you Mormon?
I am.
Okay. I was gonna say that's not a normal
Path.
Stanford. Yeah.
Yeah, you
okay,
got it. You got
Okay,
it. Yeah. And also, they just have a really good program with a
Okay.
lot of like practical experiences. So, went there. They have someone who's integrated with their student athletes. I connected with him and got experiences and got into like both the mental health and the performance psych
Okay.
field. And then went to the University of Nebraska, which is where I am part time. And then Chioma Ubagagu played for Bev with England. And so when this spot opened up, she sent me over the link, and soccer world full of connections.
See, ladies and gentlemen, at Women in Soccer, this is how it works. Like, good people who are doing good things,
Yeah.
and when things open up,
Totally.
we share it.
Absolutely.
We share it. We're
Yeah.
not afraid to hide it. We don't
Yeah.
have to keep it to ourselves. We
Absolutely.
can. That's awesome.
And I
So-
find that way, like, we're all kind of connected through however
Yep.
few degrees of separation. And so it's like, someone who knows someone who knows someone, we're all looking out for each other. And when something comes up, it's like,
Yes.
hey, I know this person. It's awesome.
So, okay, let's get a bird's eye view into how do you come into a new environment
Yeah.
and share what you know with veterans. Like,
Sure.
they've been around, they're Olympic gold medalist, and now you're going to come in and tell them what?
Sure. So what I will say is that they had someone doing what I do here for at least 8 years. So he set an amazing foundation of what sports psychology is. So I came into a very welcoming, warm environment that knew what this is, know the benefits of it, which is nice and accepting. Whereas maybe some other populations or teams or nations are kind of like, I don't know. And I think one of the biggest pieces is really just like, can they trust me? Do they feel like I'm going to go to coach and tell them all of their business? Is it going to affect their playing time? So it really becomes like foundationally relationship building. So can I just build trust, help you know that I'm just another one of the staff and I'm a human being, and that therapy is not, I'm going to sit in the sofa while the therapist is taking notes and sharing all of my childhood traumas. It's more than that. And then I just come and I try to meet them where they are, and I try to be approachable and not use too many big psychology jargon words, and talk about performance and how can they can be better players and humans.
What is the biggest hiccup you think for elite athletes in the women's side of things? At this time, in this time in history where women's sports have finally gotten some awareness, and yet we're still battling a lot of issues.
Yeah, totally. I think the things that I see come up the most, obviously there's the off the field stuff that's noise
Life.
and live. Yeah. Of how can I focus on what I need to focus on when I need to focus on it. Right? And so I think you've probably had that experience, like when I'm on the soccer field, it's kind of my escape sometimes, and can I just be really present, right? Other things I feel I notice often is one, just a degree of perfectionism. When you're at this level, the improvements are just so small, right? And so it's, can I do everything to be at my very best, be the very best? And sometimes that can get in the way of improvement, is the perfectionism. And then I think another thing I'm hearing a lot in the women's game is just burnout. And
It's a lot.
yeah, how there's between club and country, there's a lot of people that you're trying to serve and make happy, and also take care of yourself and your body, and hard to do all those things and still be a happy person.
Got it. So you said something about trust. I think that is something that obviously makes a huge difference. You know, if there's a player who's making hard runs or doing a lot of work and they feel supported, then they trust that something's going to happen. And I feel like that to me is like what makes champions. And how do you, I don't know this team well enough in terms of how many new players are coming in, and when, just in general, how do we fulfill get that trust when we have new people coming in and players going out, and what's the functionality of that?
I think part of it is off the field culture building, right? And finding that balance between, I need to encourage you all to do it and make sure that it's happening, with also it being organic and natural. And that's a delicate balance, and everyone does it differently. I think with this team, there's a lot of intermingling at meals, and we have a lot of on-field and off-field connects, and we try to do like fun cultural activities wherever we are that links us to the location that we're in and also with each other.
Oh, nice.
I think like the trust on the field, Bev does a really great job of creating those partnerships, and also having an underlying messaging of be brave, take risks, it's okay to fail. And I think once you allow players to be themselves, and instead of hedging their bets of, well, I just don't want to mess up, and it becomes, well, I'm going to bring what I'm great at, and even if that means me taking on someone 1v1 and getting stripped, the risk is better than to just play it safe.
Yeah. I love that. I feel we're starting to get to, as maybe it's a society, maybe it's just in sports, since that's kind of the area I'm in most.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's permeating out into the rest of the world. The idea of like, you will have to take risks, and you will not get it right, and you will be okay.
Totally.
And the more we do that, the more we realize that we can push the risk taking, because we know it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, you're gonna handle it.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're gonna handle it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that for girls, that seems to be probably one of the biggest deterrents for growth, because they're just too afraid to take that first. I don't know if your team ever worked with my Bossy program, my Bossy Girls.
You know what? Yeah, I do remember that.
So that's something I've learned over these 15 years or whatever it is now, 17 years that we've been doing this program, where these young kids, they have no preconceived notion about anything about the world. They're so little, and then getting them to do something out of their comfort zone is like,
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
And then once they see that we kind of inch our way towards that, they're like, oh, okay. Like, it's amazing.
Right. It's so, well, I would say one thing also is just, if you look at Gen Z, what's maybe like millennials, and the way that they were parented, it was also to protect them from failure, right? And so parents, well-meaning, I want you to succeed, so I'm going to protect you, and nothing's going to go wrong, and you're just going to be great, right? And now I think we're coming into this like resurgence of, yes, failure is okay, take risks, fail, and I'm still going to support you, I'm still going to love you, and also, yes, you can handle it.
Yeah, and I think that's also that thankfully is also getting into the business space, because for women to say, yes, I want that,
Yeah.
like we're encouraging our population to say, put your resume out
Totally.
there.
Ask,
you know,
ask for, like, negotiate,
yeah,
right? For a higher
negotiate for
salary.
yourself, or
Yeah.
even put yourself in a position where you're like, I don't really have that much experience, but maybe what I do have will be beneficial. It's okay.
Totally.
Go.
Yes.
Like, let's do it. And I feel like more men, thankfully, are seeing that. For men and women,
Yes.
you know, not just for women, like
Yes.
are seeing that the culture of their environment matters,
Yes,
where it's
absolutely.
not just bottom line driven anymore.
Totally. And I think as you also see more women in leadership, one, it becomes this virtuous cycle of, right, like we were talking about, looking out for each other, and also modeling,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think about so sports psychology starting out was also predominantly men. My boss at the University of Nebraska, part of the reason I went there was because she's one of the few directors in sports psychology that's a woman and a mom. And like to be able to work in sports as a mom is like a whole other.
Yeah. A
Like,
mom anywhere,
yeah.
in any business.
Absolutely.
You know, so many, like I have friends who, you know, maybe not this level, but they're trying to decide, okay, I'm going to have kids. Am I going to go back to work?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't hear any of my male friends
Totally.
saying that,
Yeah.
ever. Like I've never heard that uttered, ever one time.
Yeah.
So our DNA, I think, is great in that way because we care and we're connected. But we also have to be self-promoting and not kind of the egomaniac kind of way, but just
Totally.
in the self-awareness kind of way. Like we too can do
Absolutely.
great things.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what's your next fun thing that you're going to do with this team? Can I like give me a team building thing that you?
Sure. So something that we did this camp is we did personality assessments. So the one that I use is called the DISC.
Yeah, I know DISC.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Great.
we actually had Becky Burley, who was the head coach of University of Florida for like 25 years when Abby Wambach was playing.
Okay.
And she is an instructor for DISC.
Oh, nice.
So
Well,
she
there you
came
go.
on and we did a whole DISC thing. It was really fun. Oh, we do. Okay.
She just has squash training to
Yeah, sorry, I'm
job.
yeah, sorry.
It's so great what you do. Don't do it right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Sorry. You have not lost it. I know. You're a gem. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.